before we get to the rest of the games, as we go through the 1 o'clock games, put your hands up. It's time for the check-in presented by Allstate. And today we're going to be checking in on the rookie pass catchers. We got a bounce back from Dominique's future Hall of Famer Marvin Harrison Jr., who had 4 receptions for 130 yards and 2 touchdowns, all of which came very early in the game. Clocked over 20 miles per hour on his 60-yard touchdown reception. Domonique Nabers, who, despite dropping a pass at the end of the game against the Commanders, was probably the best player in the field. He was spectacular. And Brock Bowers, who's already getting hyped as one of the premier tight ends in the NFL already on a Raiders offense where we expected to get a high target share but not produce as much. There was a ton of hype coming into this season about this group of pass catchers being historically good. Of the 3 of them, has anyone stood out to you so far this season?
I mean, we're not going to spend any time. We spent a bunch of time about all the things I was wrong about. Are we going to spend any time talking about Marvin Harrison Jr.?
That can be the one that stands out.
That is the one that stands out. But I don't want to talk about him. I want to talk about me. But anyway, Marvin Harrison Jr. stood out to me because he answered all the questions that we had from last week and all the questions I told you he would answer. He outran everyone. He made big plays. They designed plays for him. And also, I think Kyler deserves a tremendous amount of credit for how well Marvin was able to play because he bought time. And yeah, the more time you buy, it's impossible in this league to cover any of those great receivers for an extended period of time, especially if they're as good as Marvin Harrison Jr. And he has some big, impressive plays. Like a couple of plays that would be the highlight of most receivers' seasons. He had them in this same game, Bill.
That first touchdown, it kind of felt like, I think the Rams were in quarters, or they were in cover 6 or something. They were in quarter field coverage. Kind of felt like they had read those reports from the week. Like, oh, this guy only runs 15.8 miles per hour. Max, we're good. Tre'Davious White found out the hard way that Marvin Harrison can go a little faster than that on a given week. I mean, I think, we could talk about Marvin Harrison. I thought he was awesome in this game. I think Domonique Nabers, to Charlie's point, was the best player on the field, even though, a drop that probably ended up costing them the game later on. But, the Giants offense looked hopeless really when it was not going to Domonique Nabers, and they looked good when Domonique Nabers was getting the football. I just want to talk about Kyler. I thought Kyler Murray was the best quarterback I watched this week. He was phenomenal. And I mean, I think in our heads, like, we have this perception of Kyler as like, yeah, he's fine. He's going to make a few plays, but I don't think people see him or his upside as top 10 quarterback. But I don't know, guys. He looked phenomenal on Sunday.
I think you're probably right about our general view of Kyler Murray is like pretty good somewhere in there, but I think it's because he has those really great games, and then he also like has a series of games that aren't great. And so like in our mind, we average it out to like
Mr. October. He's a baseball guy.
To like pretty good. He is a baseball guy. To like pretty good. But yeah, when things are right, and maybe having Marvin Harrison Jr. will make things right more often now going forward. And James Conner is a good back, and the defense is better than I think any of us anticipated. Maybe we do see the Kyler Murray. I mean,
this week they were, because the Rams were down to Ben Skoranek. I guess he's not on the team anymore, but they were down to Sean McVay, friends and family playing receiver by the end of this game. So
better than I anticipated.
The reason why they were good.
Still better than I anticipated. I anticipated real fire over there on defense. But, yeah, so Kyler Murray special, Marvin Harrison special. I think Domonique Nabers, I guess, deserves a little bit more focus because he doesn't have Kyler Murray or any of the support that Marvin Harrison Jr. has on offense.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's pretty crazy. He's the second receiver since 2010 who's 22 or under to have 15-plus targets and 200-plus air yards in a game. The other one was Odell Beckham during his rookie season, who is in the pantheon of best rookie receivers we've ever seen before injuries took apart his career. He's getting an insane target share, and his explosiveness and how good he is with the ball in his hands. We knew he was incredible at LSU, but he is such a powerful runner. I didn't realize that he was sort of in that. Honestly, it feels like there's some Jamar Chase, Tyreek Hill to him when the ball's in his hands. Like, I can run by you, I can run through you, I can put you on the ground type of stuff. And that's just crazy impressive. And then we're not even talking about Bowers, who is already one of the best tight ends in the league.
I mean, we spent plenty of time on Bowers' exceptional play, but already one of the best tight ends in the league.
Yeah.
Stop it. Relax.
He is.
Deep breath. Take a deep breath.
I feel like there's been no big, like Isaiah Likely had a big tight end game to start the year, and then like the top tight end game since then has been 60 yards. I know, who was it? Hunter Henry had a 100-yard game today, but like you get the idea. Like all the big tight ends have struggled so far this year. So you don't got to be that great to be a top 10 tight end in the NFL right now.
We're also just we're all hurt from the Kyle Pitts experience. And so our hearts are guarded. Our hearts are guarded. So we're seeing Brock Bowers, and like we're like, oh, he's in this offense that's not going to be explosive at all with Minshew, and Antonio Pierce wants to punt from the opponent's 20-yard line. Like and it's like, no, this he's a freak.